Here. Thanks for stopping by. I want to tell you about Kevin Hart's book called You Can't Make This Up, or I Can't Make This Up. Now I need to double check. Anyway, Life Lessons is the subtitle, and I recently finished listening to it on audiobook, and I give it a 5 stars, which I don't often give a 5 out of 5. I reserve that 5 for exceptional, and really it was an exceptional book. It was really about him finding his voice, and in him sharing his story, he did such an awesome job of sharing it through his voice, sharing his story through his own voice, really demonstrating what that brings to a story when you use your own authentic voice. And one of my very favorite parts of the story is when he's talking about when he finally becomes a comedian, and that's after many, many, many years, many efforts, much work of practicing his comedy and his stand-up routine. And then he has one of many chapters titled something to the effect of When I Finally Became a Comedian, or I don't know if that's a title. If you listen to the book or read the book, you'll understand what I mean by that. But that was probably my very favorite thing, was him talking about all this work he did, and then him talking about when he actually became a comedian, and then him talking about all this work he did after that. And the point of that being that when you find your voice, when you really learn to just speak from your voice, which I am ever in the process of doing myself, I think that's the gift that you can bring. That's the secret special sauce that you can bring to your work that no one else has, that no one else can bring, is your unique voice. So that was my number one favorite thing about Kevin Hart's book. The second thing that I really liked about it was the way that he made chapters and titled chapters, and it was very much in alignment with his comedic voice. And again, you'll have to read it or listen to it to know exactly what I mean, but that was definitely my number 2 favorite thing about that book. And I guess I'm going into 3 of my favorite things. Let's see if a third one comes to mind. A third one was, it was really wrapped around to the first one. It was really just the story itself of him finding his voice, and then the way that he used his voice to tell that story. Very much, not only was it him reading his own audiobook and telling the story, so it was literally his voice, but I can tell that if I had been reading it instead of listening to the audiobook, and indeed just listening to him read it, that was part of the interesting thing. So it's like him reading it, him reading his own voice, and then other times commenting on it, and it was just very much his authentic voice. It was very inspiring. Probably subset number 3 favorite thing about the book was that it really inspired me to just start writing from my heart, to not try to imitate anyone else, but really just write with my own voice, my authentic story, start to tell it better. I've been trying to outline and find formats and try to think about reaching my audience and what would be good for them, and I think that's important, that's valid, but more than that right now, I'm just gonna speak with my voice, and then see if it resonates with anybody. But I'm not gonna change my voice in an attempt to be accessible. Rather, I'm going to speak from my authentic voice, write from my authentic voice, sing from my authentic voice, and then, hey, if somebody else likes it, awesome. And if not, hey, at least I've been expressing my true authentic voice, my true self, and documenting that. So that's what I feel about that. That is my 3 favorite things that I learned about Kevin Hart's book, Life Lessons. I can't make this up, or you can't. I think it's I can't make this stuff up. I'm gonna have to look up the title and put the title in the comments. If you've read the book and you have a favorite part, please let me know in the comments. I would love to know what you thought of it, and if you read it or listened to the audiobook. And if you haven't, I highly recommend it. I give it a 5 out of 5 stars, and I think that is the first time in my short little book review career. It's not a career. In my short little book review experience, it's the first 5 out of 5 stars I've given because it really is an exceptional read. It really did inspire me at a level that others haven't, and it also was just so well done in his true authentic voice. It was unique, it was inspiring, it made me laugh, it made me cry, it made me I took action as soon as I finished listening to it, even started while I was listening to it. So yep, I give it a 5 out of 5. I highly recommend it, and I'd love to know what you think of it if you read it. Till next time, peace, prosperity, possibilities, and positivity.